My next guest takes on Dante Harrell coming up here at Tachi Palace 32 on August 3rd. It's Mohammed Usman joining me here on the program for the very first time. Mohammed, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Appreciate you asking. Not everyone asks how I'm doing, so I like that. And this is the first time I've had you on the show. How'd you get involved in combat sports?
I first, when I was training for the NFL draft, I ended up flying out to Nebraska for my brother's very, very first fight. And in the middle of nowhere, in Nebraska Kearney. And when he started fighting, that's when I kind of started building the love for it. And it just grew from there. I just built my own love for it. I just became more and more into it, fascinated with it, and it just became a part of me.
Excellent. When did you actually start training in mixed martial arts? Was it shortly after your football career?
No, it's I want to say about a year ago.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, I made the decision to start. I made the decision to transfer over. Just, football. Everybody. If you play football, once you get past that college level, it gets really, really political, and your talents basically are overshadowed by the political side of football. So, instead of me sitting around waiting for a phone call all day, I decided I still have a lot of talents that I can use, display. So why not fight? My brother's successful in it, so why not me?
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who didn't pick up on the last name there, your brother is Kamaru Usman. How cool is it to see him go on his run in the UFC? He wins the Ultimate Fighter. It must be very motivating to see that, especially being that you're his brother.
Oh, yeah, it's very, very motivating. And, if anything, he shows me that we can do anything you put your mind to. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Now, where are you right now? Where are you training at the moment?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. I go between Arizona and Dallas, but I've been training a lot with Tony Cabello, down here in Fort Worth, Texas. Just been trying to put everything together.
Okay, excellent. Because your brother's out in Florida training at Combat Club. Do you ever go down there and train with him, or do you just stick to what you're doing out in Texas?
No, I stick to what I'm doing, but going further, I want to be one of the best in this sport, period. I know it's my second fight and everything, but I want to be one of the best in this sport. So I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna start getting more, training more. Like after my fight, I'm gonna be shooting out to Las Vegas to try to get about 2 weeks in with Francis Ngannou. Training out there, and then I will be heading out to Florida as well and training. So I want to train with the best. At the end of the day, you can't be the best if you don't train with the best. So that's where I'm at with it. But, at first I wanted to get my feet wet a little bit, and get used to training, MMA, the running now. Now I'm starting to get my groove, knowing how everything is. I'm ready to train with these guys.
And how have you found the conditioning? I hear all the time football players, when they go to mixed martial arts, it's a lot different as far as the conditioning and everything.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot different. And the thing with me that I want to set myself apart too, in the heavyweight division, is I want to be the most conditioned, I watch a lot of film, and I guess that comes from football. Like I watch Cain, Velasquez, a lot of guys that I try to compare myself to, because I'm not just going to come out there to try to strike and knock somebody out. I want to grapple you. I want to wrestle you. I want to basically wear you down, So conditioning is number one for me, and me coming into the sport, it's a lot of days. It's a lot of days that I gotta just get up when I don't want to and go run like a 125-pounder, because I want to be the most conditioned.
I like that. That sounds awesome. One last question, kind of on your upbringing and everything. What do you do for work? What sort of pays the bills right now outside of fighting?
I try to get as much sponsorships as I can be, and so I have a fiance that loves me to death, and when I first decided I was going to fight, I basically told her I was going to quit my job and devote everything that I have into fighting into it, so I can get the most out of it, and she understood, and she stood by my side, and I do everything that I can. If I have to get a little side job here and there, I just do everything. I just have no excuses. I do everything that I can to pay the bills, and I make it happen, and I still train every day and still get everything in. So I'm a hustler.
I hear you, man. You got to do whatever it takes to make it work. So I commend you for that. Can we talk about your pro debut? Could that have gone any better, man? You get the first round submission win. Tachi Palace fights 31 against Derek Williams. How happy were you with that?
Uh, like I told my coaches, I was happy, but I wasn't happy. It was more of a, I felt like there's a lot of things that I need to get better, and it's like in that very instant when the guy raised my hand and said they're like you're the winner, and the only thing in my mind was getting better at that very point, at that very moment. I didn't think of the win. I wasn't like, oh, happy, I was, only thing on my mind was getting better and improving. So in this fight, you're going to see a very much improved Muhammad, and that's where I want to come into. I want to keep getting better in the cage.
Absolutely. And you're taking on Dante Harrell, who's actually a switch up. You had another opponent. Now you've had to switch up for this. Has this happened to you before, or is this something new as far as having to deal with different opponents?
Like my brother told me, when I told him I was in Arizona at the time when I found out that my opponent wasn't going to be fighting me anymore. And then he says, "Welcome to the fight game." He was like, "You're gonna have a lot of people are gonna back out. A lot of people are not gonna want to fight you, especially when they start seeing your progress and seeing you climbing up the charts. A lot of people are not gonna want to take that fight." And I applaud Dante for taking that fight. I look forward to a hell of a fight with him.
You mentioned your brother there. Are you calling him all the time? I mean, he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. He does the commentary for Titan FC. Is he a good resource if you have to sort of pick his brain for stuff, especially in fight camp?
For the most part, my coaches do a very good job at that. So I don't have to, he'll if he calls or I call, well, he gives me his 2 cents. But for the most part, I listen to my coaches and they do a pretty good job on as soon as I have an opponent. And I know an opponent, they'll watch film and tell me exactly how we're going to attack them, So, I applaud them for that. And just, I lock in and focus in and know exactly my game plan and just go out there and execute.
What's the age difference between the two of you?
I think he's 30. I'm 28.
Okay, nice. Oh, so it's not too bad. So it's not like he's that makes sense. Okay, good stuff. You mentioned your training camp. What about training partners? Who are some of the people that are putting in the rounds with you ahead of this matchup?
I've been training with a couple of heavyweights out there in Arizona. Not too many big names. But a lot of the guys that I train with are just are all wanting to get me better. I feel like one thing is when you train with a bunch of guys that just want you to improve and get better at your craft, and that's the best feeling ever. Like it doesn't matter if training with superstars or guys that are ex-heavyweight champs or whatever. But these guys that I train with, on a day-to-day, anybody that I bring in to train with me or I train with, all just want me to get better at the same time get them better, and that's one thing that I cherish more than anything, being around people that really, really support you and support what you do and motivate me, not just, of course you got to train with the best guys ever, big name guys, but those little name guys that I train with are the people that really push me, and really try to elevate my game. Guys that nobody knows, guys that nobody probably thinks are, good guys, but they're very, very skilled in different aspects of the game, and that's what motivates me to excel, the underdog, per se.
I like that. How do you see this fight ending coming up here on August 3rd?
Oh, man, I see this fight coming. I see this fight ending very quick in the first round. Like I said, I'm going to come right at him, and then I'm going to react on the way.
Excellent. And do you have anything lined up after this, or are you just going to kind of take it one fight at a time?
I want to, after this fight, I'll probably take a week off and then just go right back to training and then put the next thing together on the schedule. I just want to basically get as much fights as possible and climb the charts. I knew coming into this that it wasn't going to take me years to get where I wanted to be. That was my ultimate goal coming in. That's why I took about a year to train to just kind of get my body accustomed to MMA. But my route is different from everybody else's route. I know it's not going to take me as long as it probably took my brother or somebody else to be where I need to be. So at this time, I just want to make sure I have everything I need.
Absolutely. I like hearing that. Before I let you go here, what do you like doing on your downtime? You played football in university and everything. You still watching the NFL or college football at all?
Oh, man, of course.
Okay.
I love watching my Arizona Wildcats, the Cowboys, of course. And, I love swimming. I love swimming. I want to take up fishing. I just don't know how to fish yet. That's, that's something that's been on the radar for me for a while. because I've been fishing, but I ain't caught no fish. So I definitely want to take up fishing a lot, and just hanging out with my son and my family, and more as you get older, I'm just realizing that that's all that matters to me. It's just really spending that time with my son and my fiance and my family, and just soaking them up, because time is something we can't get back.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So you haven't been down to Florida to go see Kamaru, because I imagine they're doing some fishing out there. Seems like that's the thing to do out there in Florida.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But these fights, they turn around so fast.
It's true. You don't get much time.
You don't ever really. It's like, I don't want to break camp, and lose focus and go do something else when we've already locked in a game plan. We've already locked in everything, So like right after this fight is when I have a little window where I can go learn from here, go learn from there, and then bring everything together, then come back and then officially start my camp, So right after this fight, I'll definitely be going to a lot of places and getting a lot of knowledge and continuing on this MMA journey. How
do you think the Cowboys are going to do this season post Tony Romo?
Oh, they're going to do fantastic. We're going to do wonderful. Tony Romo was good. He was a good quarterback for us. But, at the end of the day, he knows it, and we all know it too, that, when that younger guy comes in and it's his time, you got to just let it happen. It's father time.
And speaking of time, we can't wait to see your time when it's coming. But up first, it's August 3rd. It's Tachi Palace Fights 32. Mohammed, this is a lot of fun, man. I can't thank you enough for joining me here. Where can people get a hold of you on social media? And if you got any thank yous or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Okay, you can get a hold of me at uMohammed97 on Instagram, Mohammed Usman on Facebook. And, and I just would like to give a shout-out first to God, above all, and to my fiance, my family. And I have a lot of sponsors and a lot of people. Phoenix Laser Systems, thank them a lot, for sponsoring me this fight. And I look forward to just fighting and putting everybody on the map.